Hi everyone, this is Lucy at Middle Path Yoga. So we've got a core strengthening sequence for you today. Core muscles is a really broad term, so just to clarify, today we're going to be working the transverse abdominis in our plank. Not that much because the upper body strengthening video covers that quite a lot already. We'll be doing the obliques, the internal and the external obliques when we do our side bending and the twists. We'll be working the rectus abdominis when we do our quite long boat sequence and the leg raises, and we'll also be working a little bit on our back strength with the erector spinae muscles when we do our back bending sequence. Hopefully something for everyone. Do remember to remain mindful, so not pushing yourself too hard. Remember to breathe as you move through and just incrementally taking it up each day. Do let me know how you get on. So we're going to start our practice from standing today, just checking that you're pushing down into the floor through all four corners of your feet hips width apart here. So big toe to little toe, inner and outer heel. And we're going to start with an easy side bend, so taking the ear over towards the shoulder, letting the arm dangle, sliding down to one side and then back to the center. So if you feel comfortable with this, then interlock the fingers and push your palms away from you to make it a little stronger. With the breath then, we're going to inhale back to the center, exhale to the side. If you're finding that this is too strong, then we can have one arm raised, one arm down, choosing the option that suits you today. Try and find the space between the inhale and the exhale. So inhale, find neutral spine. Exhale, over to the side, finish the side bend. Lungs empty, lungs are full, back to neutral. Lungs are empty as we've come into our side bend. So don't forget to be pushing down through the feet. As we come over to the right side, you need to be firmly pushing down through the left, anchoring down through the soles of the feet. On this last round then, we're going to hold it to one side, take a couple of breaths there. And then the same again on the other side, holding it over to the side for a couple of breaths, and you can build up your stamina with that, holding it. Release the shoulders then, step the legs out wide. We're going to come into Trikonasana, triangle pose, so turning the right foot to the right side, turning the left toes in slightly, slide the torso over. Bringing your right hand down to your right shin. Left hand maybe is going to just stay on the left hip for the time being. If you're comfortable, you can raise the left arm. Now you need to really check that your thighs are active here. So even though the legs are doing different things, we're equally active through both feet. Either holding it, or you can now bring the hands to prayer pose 5 times there, inhaling, opening, exhaling, palms back to namaste. So inhale, open, you're broadening your wingspan. You can turn to look up to the top hand if that feels comfortable for you. Don't forget to be pushing down equally through both feet. So 5 breaths. And then returning to center, change the direction of your feet, making sure that your left knee is tracking your left toes. Over we go, over to the left side. So if you feel your left knee's uncomfortable, turn your right foot in a little bit more. Lengthening tailbone away from the crown of the head. So we're using the internal obliques here, drawing back through the top shoulder blade, top side of the rib cage, drawing back, engaging those obliques. Exhale to center 5 times once again on this side, opening, exhaling, pushing in through the feet, down through the mat, anchoring, engaging the thighs, keeping the body stable, and then inhaling back to the center. Release the arms, heel toe, walk the feet back to center, give them a good shake off. Coming down onto all fours and then taking hold of your elbows. Keeping the elbows where they are, you're going to interlock the fingers in front. Reach back with the right leg. Push back through the right heel and change. Push back through the left heel. So pushing through the forearms, no dip between the shoulder blades, and then extending back through both legs at the same time. So nice flat back, heels pushing away, firmly pushing back through the heels, and at the same time forwards through the crown of the head. Now let's see if we could raise the right foot off the floor whilst keeping the rest of the torso firm. Lift the left foot for a couple of breaths. Keep the torso firm and back down. Lifting yourselves up into a press-up position. Now, if it's too strong, drop the knees. Shoulders above the wrists. So we're going to have a go coming into the side plank now. Check that your shoulder is above your wrist. If it's too strong, bring a shin down to the floor so your lower shin is on the mat. If you're comfortable, however, stacking the top foot on top of the lower one. Hand to the hip. You're going to exhale, lower, and then inhale, raise the arm up and over. Lovely stretch through the side waist, through the armpit. Exhale. Hold it there if you feel comfortable now, raising the top leg. Keep the foot flexed. And over to the other side. We'll pause in a child's pose. We can make nice circles with the wrists if they're feeling tender. Back up into our plank pose. So it's really important that you push down through both hands to avoid the dip between the shoulder blades. Making our way over into our side plank. So shoulder are directly above the wrist. Exhale, hand to the hip, lower down. Inhale, push through the palm, up and over. So real large movement there with the arm and the shoulder. And then if you feel inclined, raising the top leg, engaging the muscles there of the legs, the glutes, back into our plank pose. Once again, let's pause in child's pose there. Catch your breath, relax the elbows, the wrists. Making your way then to a seated position. Easy option here will be to plant the hands on the floor behind you. I've got my fingertips on the mat there. Keeping the torso nice and long. A stronger version then would be to have the arms parallel with the floor. Exhale, leaning back. So we're in preparation for the boat pose, Naukasana. Inhale as you lift. Exhale, lowering back, keeping the torso long and straight. We're doing 5 here. Once you've done your 5, you can start to raise the right foot as you lean back. So 5 times on the right side. Keeping the back nice and tall. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. One more time and then coming over onto the left side. Like I say, if it's too strong with the arms up, just pop your hands back onto the floor behind you. 5 times on this side. Exhale, lean back, lift the left leg. Inhale, sit up tall. Hug the knees in for a moment, broadening around the lower back. Steady breaths here, recovery breaths. Okay, next round. So if you feel you want to take it up a notch, this time leaning back, lifting both feet off the floor. Chest stays open as before. Hands can be on the floor behind you, propping you up. Exhale as we lean back to Naukasana. Inhale as we sit up, just 5 times there. So let's give the legs a little stretch out now. So tuck the left foot to the floor, left knee to the mat. Interlock the fingers and place them on the sole of the right foot. You can start with your right knee bent and then go into as straight a position as is comfortable for you. You may well need to leave the right knee nice and bent. Sit up tall through the lower back. Changing over, just a brief stretch out here. Thigh towards your tummy to start off with, so you can really sit up tall through the pelvis, and then should you wish, extending out through the left leg, tall back. Letting the right knee drop to the floor, right hip opening as we stretch out the back of the left leg here. And breathe. Okay, next round here with this boat sequence. Either coming into a balancing pose now, so shins parallel with the floor, holding on to your ankles, or you might like to come into the full posture now, so legs extended out straight, toes and eyes the same height, arms parallel with the floor. You can have the palms facing each other or the palms facing down. Try and keep that length through the spine. Well done, just 5 breaths there. Back into our hugging the legs position. Breathe into the small of the back. Breathe into the back ribs. Relax the head and the neck. This time with the toe hold. Balancing once again. So 2 fingers taking hold of the big toes, thumbs resting on the tip of the big toes, opening through the third eye. If you feel you'd like to take the legs out to the side or for a variation, then opening the legs out. Knees, as before, may well need to be bent here. Last 2 variations now, so if you've had enough, just fast forward on to the next section. Otherwise now, leaning back halfway, and we're going to come into a little side bend. So leaning back enough to engage the core, and then reach towards your shin, and then reach towards your other shin. So side to side. We're going to do 10 of these. You'll be moving probably a little more swiftly than your breath, so just breathe at a normal pace. Reach to the shin. You can visualize the spine here in a little side bend, and then sitting back up. Come back into our recovery position. So if you find when you come out of that posture that there is a pinching at the lower back, bear that in mind. Go for the easier option next time. There should be no strain. So easy option with the next one then. Feet to the floor, opening out into a twist with the feet on the floor. Otherwise, we've got the shins parallel with the floor, feet floating up off the mat. Palms together. Inhale, open out to the side. Exhale, close. Turning to look at the backhand as you come into a twist now. Inhale. Exhale, we're just doing 5 on each side. Inhale, exhale, broadening there through the side of the rib cage. Trying to keep the shins parallel with the floor. Wonderful. And sitting yourself back up. Making your way back down onto the floor now, hugging the knees in. Have a little rock from side to side, massage out the lower back. And then bring your arms underneath your body. With the knees hugged in, then we're going to start on a piston movement, pushing one heel away, extending the leg, and then tucking back in. So you're going to stick with one at a time, toes pointed and then feet flexed, or you can do this with both legs together. So we're going to incrementally work up stronger variations. So I want you to stick on the one that works for you today. So you're pointing and flexing. Second version, legs raised, single leg raises. Exhale as you lower towards but not touching the floor, and then raising back up on the inhale. If that feels easy enough, then coming into double leg raises. Exhale as we lower, inhale as we lift. It's important that the lower back doesn't raise up off the floor. Don't go so far that your lower back starts to arch. Keep the core muscles drawn in towards the spine here. Taking hold of the elbows will be a stronger version there. Inhale as we lift, exhale as we lower. So drawing the abdomen towards the spine to keep the lower back down. Hug the knees in, rocking out through the lower back. So next round, either with the arms underneath the body or taking hold of the elbows once again. So we're going to come down over to one side of the mat. So double leg raises, but over to the side slightly. As before, we're not touching the floor, just going over to the edge of your mat, back to center, and then lowering down to the other edge of your mat. Lower back stays neutral. Good. And exhale, lower, inhale, lifting. Drawing in through those deep core muscles there, hugging the knees in. So knees swaying one way, feet swaying the other. Nice little massage out through the lower back. Last round now then, so arms back under the body, or you can take hold of the elbows in that stronger version. So zigzagging the legs, or scissors on the legs, taking them down towards but not touching the floor. Exhaling as you lower. Inhale, tuck and lift. And we're going to do 10 of these. Shoulders are right far away from the ears. Arms are straight. If you find your elbows are bending, make your arms a little longer. You're probably sitting on your wrists rather than your fingertips, so it does depend on the length of your spine in relation to the length of your arms. If there's any twinging in the lower back, go to one of the easier versions that we've already practiced. And then releasing the arms, hugging the knees in. Catch your breath back. Soles of the feet to the floor then. Lift the hips. Give the hips a shake out from side to side. Breathing into the belly. And then making your way up. Hands and knees. And then dropping down onto your tummy. So working the erector spiny muscles now, lower back. Start with the hands at the small of the back and then taking one arm out to the side, keep going round until it's in front of you. As you extend the arm out to the side, you're also raising your head and your chest off the mat. So you can stick to just moving the arms, or you can also bring in the opposite leg. So as you bring the right arm round, you're raising the left foot and vice versa. Engaging the lower back muscles here. With the breath, inhale, arm comes round, exhale, arm goes back. So that might well have been enough for you. So sitting out the next posture. Come back to your breath, rest your head. Breathing into the belly here can help to enhance the feeling of releasing through the lower back. So if you feel you want to take it up a notch, then bringing the backs of both hands to the small of your back and taking both arms out and round as we raise both legs. So coming into sometimes called boat pose, sometimes called preparation for locust posture. Both arms raising and also both legs coming off the floor. Last one here, then coming into Sarpasana or snake pose. Interlock the fingers. Keep the tops of the feet onto the floor here. Using the lower back muscles to raise the chest. Imagining your hands are being drawn back towards your heels. Great. Pop the hands under the shoulders. Push yourself up onto all fours and then sink the bottom back onto the heels, resting the top of the forehead on the mat. Take a few breaths into the back body. So we're going to finish our core sequence now, working a little on the obliques, internal and external obliques. Arms out to the side, so you can either have them like me in this cactus position or arms outstretched if you have the space. First version is to hug the knees in quite close towards your tummy, drop them over to one side, and turn your head the other way. A stronger version here is to bring the knees above the hips, shins parallel with the floor. So making a right angle with your shins and your thighs. Exhale as we drop them over to the right side, head turns to the left. Inhale, return to neutral. So using those oblique muscles to lift the legs back to the center. So you might find the knees start to hug in a bit. Try and keep the knees above the hips, shins parallel with the floor when you return to neutral. And then release the block. We're going to finish with a held supine twist. You might like to bring a bit of support underneath your knee. So we're starting with the right leg bent, bringing the right knee over towards the left side of your body. You can place your left hand on your right knee and reach the right arm out in line with your right shoulder, turning the head to look at the right fingertips. And breathe. Moving the blocks over to the other side when you're ready, and placing the left knee, left thigh onto your support, reaching your right arm, right hand onto the thigh, reaching your left arm out in line with your left shoulder. If it's comfortable for you to turn your head to look towards the left hand, go ahead. Breathing into the top lung, top side of the rib cage, and then hugging in the knees. Extending the legs, come into Shavasana. Spend a couple of minutes here relaxing after our fairly strong sequence there. Head, neck and back in the same line. Allowing the abdomen to relax, the abdominal muscles and the abdominal organs. Letting the mind settle. Allow yourself to come back to neutral. And taking as long as you need here in our relaxation pose.